Hello, welcome to TierOne Real Estate. We are a full-service real estate and property management office. We help people buy, sell, and manage their property. Today we're going to be discussing a very important topic, and that's going to be the true cost of a vacant property. So let's get right into it. A lot of us are used to paying normal expenses whenever we own a property, whether that's the regular mortgage, the utilities, and the taxes. However, when we're talking about a vacant property, there's some unexpected expenses that can occur. What are those expenses going to be? One of the things to consider is going to be, how is the place been kept? Is it clean? Is it dirty? Does it need to be clean? That's a cost right there. Has it been damaged? Is there damage to the walls, to the roof, or to any other area of the home? Is this light damage that we can repair, or is it something where we need a full rehab of this apartment or home in order to get it ready to rent for the next renter? Those are three of the biggest main things that we always want to check on whether it's necessary to have one of those expenses. Now, the other thing to keep in mind when talking about a vacant property is the cost of having that property vacant every single month when you're not collecting rent. So we're used to collecting that rent every month, and if I were to give you an example of a monthly rental of $1,000 a month, if you're normally collecting that and using that to pay a mortgage payment, and if you don't have that coming in, well, now every single day that goes by, that's $33 a day. In 7 days, that can add up very quickly and become, over $200, roughly $231. So all those things are things to be kept in mind, and we want to make sure that we get this taken care of very, very quickly because time is of the essence. So how do we reduce lost rents? That's a very important question, and there's 5 things that I'm going to be telling you about today that are going to help you reduce that. So the number one thing to focus on is, if you are rehabbing a place or you're having to get it ready, make sure you keep it down to a 3-day turn, is what we would call it, a 3-day minimum of time frame that goes by. That will keep your cost, roughly at about $100 for those 3 days of it not being ready to rent. Now, the second thing is, if ever at all possible, start marketing the property way in advance. If you get notice from your current tenants, or if you're going into a situation where those people are going to be moving out here soon, the sooner you can put it on the market for rent, the better. We typically at our office like to start marketing 60 days prior to a place being empty. And that just gives us a really good time frame as to being able to find a qualified candidate. Number 3, make sure you have a clear and concise move out process. Okay, this is where a lot of people make a lot of mistakes and get things wrong. Making sure you have a checklist with guidelines and charges of everything in as much detail as possible. That's going to help you not miss anything, and it's also going to educate the tenant that's currently occupying the place on what you're going to be looking for as far as whenever they move out, what damage, what items need to be cleaned, all those things, any information that you can provide to them, and any information that you can have yourself ready to make it more of a streamlined and easier and more efficient process. So number 4, once you have a renter inside a place, it's always important to do inspections, whether that's annually, semi-annually, quarterly. You are going to be the best judge of when that's most convenient or most efficient to do. We typically do them at least twice a year in order to, kind of have a good understanding of how the place is being kept for, and if there's something that we need to go in and take care of. What these inspections do is they help you find damage that you may have not found otherwise, unless left up until the end, which is not exactly when you want to know. If you go and do an inspection and you find damage in a unit, you can repair the damage and bill for that damage while the person is still occupying that place. So inspections are very, very big and important. The 5th thing to keep in mind is, if ever possible, try to collect a higher deposit. So most commonly, people will collect a deposit from someone that's equal to the month rent. So if you're renting for a place for $1,000, then you would collect $1,000 deposit. However, that sometimes only sometimes is it barely enough to cover the mortgage payment if ever they move out or if they skip. But what if they cause damages? That $1,000 may not be enough. So what we like to do is collect a higher deposit, so up to 125% of that monthly rent. In this specific scenario, 125% of 1,000 would be roughly 1,250. What that does is it sets a standard and lets the renter know that they're in the hook for this money, and if they don't take care of the place, then you can go ahead and use some of that towards damages. So these are just 5 things. Again, these are 5 things to keep in mind whenever you're looking at a vacant property. If you have any other questions or if there's other issues that we can help you with, feel free to reach out to our office via email or a phone call. Leave any comments below on this video if you would like to see other types of educational videos that we may have. Make sure to keep in touch with the video series that we'll be putting out. And once again, thank you so much for viewing and tuning in today. And until next time, thank you for joining TierOne Real Estate. Have a great day.